Okay guys, so let's get an endurance video because after all it is hybrid endurance. Today we're going to be looking at anaerobic capacity, what anaerobic capacity is and how we can do this on a bike. Okay, so anaerobic capacity is that top end stuff. It's that less than 3 minute stuff, hence the name anaerobic capacity is without oxygen. We need to be getting in the body into that state without oxygen when we're building up loads of lactic acid. And that's why you can only hold it for a certain amount of time, because eventually this lactic acid builds to a certain level. Lactic acid is toxic and you just can't deal with it, so you've got to stop. So to put your body in this state is hard. So let's get into the bike session of how we can go about doing this. Okay, so AC1, let's have a look what we've got here. So let's just, before I get into the session, why would you want to be doing one of these sessions? You might be thinking, I'm new to cycling or I'm doing long distance. Is it really going to benefit me? Well, let's just deal with the people who do a long distance. If you've got a very good anaerobic capacity, generally you're going to be able to produce mass power. So if you get to a hill, you're not going to be eating into too many of those cookies, these anaerobic threshold cookies that you've only got a certain amount of. You've got a higher power, you'll be able to get up these hills easy, it's going to tax you less. So if you're on a long distance Ironman, let's say, you're not going to be taxed when you get to these hills, so you can keep your reserves for when you really need them. Also, people who are brand new to the game, anaerobic capacity sessions are great because it's one of the few sessions where you don't really need to go off your heart rate, you don't really need to go off power, it's more perceived effort, and it's pretty much the top end of that perceived effort. Also, you're going to get big hit and fat burning effects off these sessions as well, because it is almost top end stuff, so you're going to be getting a bit of that hit, high intensity carryover from these sessions. And it's also just going to build some savage strength in the legs. So let's get into the session. 15 minutes warm up, building from zone 1, so an easy to zone 3, kind of moderate in the last 3 minutes, that 15-minute block. Then I go into a few flush outs, 20 seconds high RPM, so easy gear just to produce 100 RPM. RPM is how quick your feet are going round. A lot of spin bikes tell you your RPM. So 20 seconds high RPM, 30 seconds easy spinning, repeat that 4 times. Then pre-interval ramps, 3 minute. So just a little ramp just to properly get us ready for the session. 1 minute, zone 2/3, so 1 minute kind of a moderate effort. 1 minute zone 3, that sweet spot. So we're building that effort into a 30-second zone 4. It's that threshold effort. And then 15 seconds, we're hitting that anaerobic capacity, just 15 seconds. 15 seconds zone 3 just to chill out. Well, a bit of a moderate effort back down, and then 2 minutes easy before the main set. Then the main set is 8 lots of 45 seconds, and these are anaerobic capacity blocks. There's 2 minutes in between each one of these, so you've got a decent amount of rest. And it's basically what power or what effort, let's say perceived effort, because let's just take no one's got a heart rate or a power. What perceived effort can you hold for these 8? So you've got to be trying to find that top end, like your best effort, but that you can maintain over 8. It's pointless going really hard on the first 3 and then you're dead come halfway. So it's about finding that top end that you can hold. You can really, if you've done it a few times, you can empty the tank, I call it, on the last few. Really just going into that red zone. At the end of the day, we're just trying to produce as much lactic acid as we can. We're only working for 45 seconds here. In the future, I'd up this, so we'd go to a minute. There's loads of different variations of this you can do. You can do some reverse pyramids. Again, I can bring you some of this stuff in the future. So like I say, yeah, the key is to find that top end stuff. Always a 5 to 10 minute cool down here. You can do after your blocks, kind of a 5 to 10 steady intensity, just a zone 2 endurance, just to dial in that smooth effort and a very easy cool down at the end. So yeah, that's your anaerobic. That's just kind of a beginner anaerobic capacity session there. Like I say, it's going to be good for newbies because you don't have to work off heart rate or power. You can just get on the bike and hit those 8 blocks. It's going to have a big, hit, high intensity and fat burning after effect. It's going to produce a lot of strength in the legs. For those guys who are used to this stuff and you're trying to get your rankings up higher on Strava, trust me, you don't want to miss your anaerobic capacity stuff. A lot of people focus on threshold FTP. That's just one little piece of the puzzle. This anaerobic capacity stuff needs to be hit, especially if you want to be getting up that leaderboard. I know for a fact mine's pretty decent, and I could go and find a segment round here and beast it because I've got a decent anaerobic capacity. So don't miss it out. And if you enjoy these videos, don't forget to comment, subscribe, like, And yeah, that's your endurance session. That's your anaerobic capacity bike session. Let's go.